I told people I was doing his 90th birthday. Like, oh, okay. It's going to be on Tuesday. Oh, and their 90th birthday is at 7 o'clock on a Saturday at a brewery. This is the Coleman. This just kind of defines Coleman. In fact, we were talking yesterday, my wife, Brittany and Missy, we were talking like our spouses threw a surprise birthday party, what it looked like. And the consensus was it'd be brunch, or it would be like 2 to 4, 2 to 5, because we got to go to bed by 9. So Coleman, here he is at 90, showing us 30s and 40-year-olds how to celebrate. So that just defines Coleman. So here are 3 things I know about Coleman. That I want to go through. One, you never see Coleman be the first car to stop. If you ever ridden with Coleman, does that ever happen to Coleman? The first car. Have you ever been the first car at a stoplight? No matter what the color is, he's going to go through. He's going the wrong direction. And so when Coleman plays golf, who plays golf in Coleman? All right. So I hope you'll appreciate this. When Coleman plays golf, you can tell he is happy with the golf shot based on whether or not he grunts. That means he's happy. Another thing I learned about Coleman is he remembers every round of golf he's ever played, every shot that he has ever made. And I had to write this down because I couldn't remember all this. So he can tell details. He'll be like, it was Sunday, April 3rd, 1986, 1:35 p.m. in the afternoon. Walter Larlow and I were playing the member guest Henderson. It was a cool afternoon for April. Temperature was 57 degrees. Humidity was slow because the cold front moved through the day before and brought bad storms. Wind was calm and the skies were blue, not a cloud in the sky. We were on the 4th hole in Henderson. You know, the one that is a dog leg to the left, over the water, and has trees on the right side by that white house that the Judy family grew up in. You can also see the tennis courts in the distance. Because the wind was calm, I decided I was going to play my 3-iron off the tee. That's Coleman telling the story. Like, he can go through every shot that he's ever made and tell that story. So, a couple stories that I just want to share with you that I think reflect Coleman, Coleman that I know. So the first time that I met Coleman, Mom, Coleman were dating, and they probably been dating a little bit longer than I realized. And Coleman came to visit. He was driving. We were sitting in the den, and he was driving a Chevy love truck, and he had bought an exercise bike, which we still have, still in the bedroom. He bought an exercise bike, and he came to the house, and that was my first time to meet him. And the first time I met him, Coleman had a large cookie for parties, and that kind of became his token. That became everything between he and I. For a while there, anytime that he would show up, he would bring a large cookie from parties. And so that was one thing. And then second was the first time that we got to visit Coleman at his house in Maryfield in Hartsville. We went to his house, and so a large cookie from Hardee's was not something I was about to have. And we go to Coleman's house for the first time, and he had stock. He had Nutty Buddies in the pantry. He had a freezer full of Klondikes. And I later learned this is what Coleman did all the time. But the third part of that story is when Coleman retired in '99, and anytime, and to this day, anytime that Randy and I would come back from college, we would come back just to visit. Coleman would always go to the Windmill Bakery and buy the cinnamon buns or the peach turnover. Or he would go to Hardee's or now Bojangles to get the biscuits. And I tell that story because one, it's a good story, but two, I tell it because to me, that's the Coleman that I know. That's the Coleman that was always supportive and always wanted to make sure that you were taken care of and that you were happy. And I can tell you right now, as the person that's been married to my mom the past 35 years, that's the trait that I've seen and witnessed since I've known Coleman. And that's also the trait in the way that he has been married to my mom and treated my mom over the past 35 years. is always going to make sure that she's happy and supported. And that's the Coleman that I know.
Fabulous.
And another Coleman that I know, it's a little bit different story, is Coleman is competitive. And that's probably the understatement of the day. And we did not know, Coleman, you and I, we never talked about this. But Coleman's competitive, and when you turn 16, you get your driver's license. And when you get your driver's license, you go to church. Or you would go to the country club. And you would, Coleman, like, Randy would turn 16, and we'd be leaving the driveway at the same time, and we'd be like, all right, see you there. We'll meet you at church. We'll meet you at the country club. Little did I know that this is something we've never talked about, but when we turned 16 and we said we're going to meet you there, in Coleman's mind, he just declared a race. And we would drive to church, and this is, Randy and I had this conversation, never had it with Coleman, but he would race us everywhere, and we've never talked about it. In fact, Randy and I, we would scheme, and we would try to, we're going to hold Coleman up. Like, you may, like, stay behind, talk to Coleman, I'm going to leave early and try to get to church before Coleman does. We would do all this stuff, and Coleman would beat us every single time. He would go down roads we've never heard of. I can't tell you how many times we were going down 501 South, speed limit's 35, we're rolling 60. But he's going to win. And it's the same thing, like when you go to the country club, I'll meet you there. And we would stall and try to get out ahead. He would always meet us there. And so many times we would come home from church after unofficially racing, which we didn't talk about. And Coleman would kind of get out of his car and like, hey boys, do that grunt, which means he beats. No, the Coleman that I know is obviously very generous. It's been such a huge influence on me and their family. And so here's a toast to Coleman. The words that I said were, the words that I have are, we got drinks?
Yep, got drink.
Here's a toast. Here's a toast to Coleman in 90 years. 90 years and 90 years around the sun. It's probably not going to happen again. Another 90 is probably not going to happen. But if anybody can do it, it's you, Coleman.